Are we on? Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding. And tonight, we have a very, very special guest. This basketball head comes from a long line of basketball heads that helped shape the fabric of New York City basketball. After watching his family members' legacy, he wanted to create one for himself. And he did just that. This basketball head started at the legendary Rice High School in Harlem and was an all-city performer and a legend of the legendary Gaucho AAU program. He was heavily recruited out of high school and accepted a scholarship from the University of Pittsburgh. Just like when he played for Rice, he did not disappoint in college. He is one of the best Panthers in Pittsburgh history, ranking 17th in career points, 1,342. Second career steals, 252. And 7th in career assists, 552. This basketball head was a two-time All-Big East Conference performer, also a finalist for AP NCAA Player of the Year in 1993 and 94. Once his amazing college career was over, he enjoyed a 13-year pro career overseas in Europe. Once his balling days was over, he began coaching at the MacDuffie School in Granby, Massachusetts. Nowadays, he's the director of basketball operations at the University of South Florida. He also gives back to his community in New York City with the City Legends Foundation. So, without further ado, help me welcome to the show, Rice High School great, University of Pittsburgh legend, and director of basketball operations at the University of South Florida, Jerry Ice McCullough.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's going on, man? How you?
I'm great now, man. Listen, brother, I can't front. Sorry, I apologize for being late. I'm not usually tardy, but man, New York City was rocking.
Understood. Not a problem. I'm chilling at the crib watching the games. That's all.
That's good. We're gonna get some people some time to come in. I know people watching the game. They want to tune in. I saw a lot of cats at the game. There was, said they're gonna tune in. My guy Skip.
That's what's up. That's my dude.
He was at the game, showing some love. My guy Shy and a whole slew of other people who came up to me and salute the show, man. So I just want to thank everybody who I ran into today and the last couple of days at the Barclays Center and City College that showed the brother some love. I do appreciate it, man. But tonight is your night, brother.
I appreciate you having me on.
You have no, I've been, we've been connected for a minute, but you have no idea how many people been hitting me up telling me I need to get you on the show.
I'm here. Let's get it going.
All right, man. Who introduced you to the
I
game?
would say my uncle and my father, Bob McCullough, Rucker Park. I used to go. I was the ball boy for them, and my father used to ref. Back, I guess when it first started at 55th and Pelham Fritz. So that's where I first got introduced to the game. It was really actually just working first. You know what I mean? Because I was just, outside doing outside stuff. You know what I mean? Just normal kid,
Right.
all
Right.
sports, playing, you know, dogs, parks, you know, just straight, you know, Harlem stuff. So, but I had to work a little bit as a ball
That's
boy,
right. That's
and
right.
then we would just, me and my brother would just start playing, you know, just imitating everybody we saw doing whatever, and it picked up from there.
That's real, man. That's real. What part of
Esplanade,
Harlem you from?
145th. So, yeah,
45th. That's legendary
yep,
within
yep.
itself. And at what age, like, did it, you know, the basketball bug hit you? Besides just playing around, when did you say
I think
want to do this
about
for real?
8. I got with Tommy Sweet, Tommy Swin. He coached everybody from 116th down in Millbank. Him and we started small fry, Leroy Otis. So from like each one to each one, I really latched on with them because he took everybody from my neighborhood, from Esplanade and from 145th. You know what I mean? Everybody, 142nd, everybody that was at that park, he took us, made a team, I think a 9U team, and from there, just being on the team with my crew, you know, and going to the park every day, you know, it kind of picked up and started going from there, you know.
Now, with you being from such an amazing basketball family, was there any pressure on you early
Nah,
on?
it was.
You know, your uncle being the great Bob McCullough.
Like I said, it was, you know, just being young and you know, back then everybody we came in the house to eat and sleep. Like it was like we was outside, so it wasn't, long as I wasn't in trouble, I was in the park somewhere in view, you know, we were good. Like my man, you know, Charlie Rock, he, you know, the controller, if he was in building 5, he's a little bit older, will always, you know, let's play ball, let's play ball, let's play ball. And we would always just go to the park, you know, and play ball. But I was kind of fast, so I really just wanted to, you know, just run. You know what I mean? But the ball started picking up, and I started getting good at it, really. Basically, really stealing the ball from everybody and giving it to them.
Right. And most fast guys start off, they're usually faster than they dribble.
Exactly. So, and then, you know, the dribbling didn't come in until, you know, me and my brother was playing, like at halftime at the Rucker. You know what I'm saying? And the timeouts, you know, we the ball boys, and then the crowd started, you know, woo, woo, you know, these little dudes actually, you know, got fired from, you know, it was my uncle. So, I mean, it was just, but we were putting on the show, you know what I mean? Just playing ball, doing the timeouts.
Right.
And that's how I kind of, you know, doing all of that started, you know, making sense. Not even knowing what I'm doing, couldn't really shoot, but you shaking somebody up, you know, and the crowd going crazy, you know, you feeling that, you keep it going.
Definitely. Well, by the way, man, legendary hip hop DJ, host, and extraordinaire Barbito Garcia.
Barbito.
He hit me up earlier. Another guy hit me up, was like, yo, G, you're doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing. He's going to be on the show in September because he has a book coming out.
That's a legend in itself. Humble dude, too, man. Like, I'm like,
listen,
wow, this Barbito. Like, I'm seeing him on TV, like, way back then in the magazines and all that. And, you know, he knew my name. And I'm like, you know, wow, cool ball, you know?
Because he played ball. He's a ball player. He's a ball player.
That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing the music, you know what I mean? Because my cousin was into the music, you know what I mean, with Video Music Box and all of that. And I'm like, wow, TV, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's Barbito, you know? And that's a cool dude, for real.
Yes. Yeah. Listen, brother, he sent me paragraphs with the history of your family.
All right.
Texting like, yo, let him know, you know, his uncle, you know, cousins, brothers, all of them, that family is rich in basketball. He gave me the history of Bob McCullough and the Rucker, then forwarded his documentary, doing it in the park. I was like, yeah, I saw that, Bob. Trust me, I'm on it. But the fact that he was so, you know, he was just so happy that you was coming on and wanted to share his love for you and the family, man. So salute to Barbito, man.
Salute. Yeah, he definitely was part of that history, and you know, and kept it going. But you know, like he talked a lot about my uncle, and my uncle, you know, I feel, you know, kind of really pushed the game forward. Like it's you know, it's enough to be said about somebody that actually did the organization, you know what I mean, for a tournament. Everybody think it's just, you know, it's just like a tournament. You just get the whistles. But nah, he really taught people the structure of how to run a business. You know what I mean? People left the Rucker and went on to the pros. And, you know, from rocking
Right.
Stu, you know what I mean? They had the garden, you know, on the clock every day. You know what I mean? That's a real professional job. They doing it at the park. You know what I mean? Rucker Park. Like I'm seeing Rock and Stu, like the same thing like I see Barbito. The next thing you know, I'm looking and I'm seeing the Knick game. I'm seeing Isaiah Thomas and, you know, Bernard King, and I'm seeing them at the scores table. Like, and I'm like, hey Bob, that's you know, that's Rock, that's Stu. He said, yeah, no, you know, and then, you know, my uncle started going into, you know, what do you think we do here? You know, and all of that. So with the refs, you know what I mean, with the clock, with the statisticians, with just, you know, taking notes, you know, having meetings, you know, he ran a professional. It's an internationally known thing right now. So, you know, salute to him for that.
Listen, kids need to see that because they need to understand that there's so many ways to be part of the game than being on the court. And Rocker Stu has been there longer than some Knick players, correct?
Fact.
Let's keep. I always tell people that, like, kids think everybody want to be on the court and be the player, not realizing those other jobs have longer
careers, man. You're like with the video, with the announcing, with the mic, man. Like, you know, they there. They, you know, they got history. Like they enshrined in history. Like you turn on any game, the vault, they the vault. You're gonna see them. You know what I'm saying? They represent Harlem.
Definitely need to get them on the show, man, because they part of the York City fabric, man. Definitely want to do that. Yeah. So do you remember the first game you played with referees? How was that experience? Do you remember that?
I want to say it was the PAL or 45th. You know, it was just so many games back then. Like we used to walk from Rucker to 100 to Kingdom. You know what I mean? And there will always be games everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Stopping at every park and like official games. We have like about 3-4 games a day. You know what I mean? No luck back then. You know what I mean?
Talk
so
about
that's what
Talk about it.
You know, it was the TS Bucks. That's who I was with. First it was like Bronx River. That was our travel team. But then it was the TS Bucks, and we used to just walk through Harlem. You know what I mean? Sometimes go over to Patterson. You know what I mean? Just a crew of kids everywhere, East Side, West Side, every park. But the very first game, I remember glimpse of Stone Gym. You know what I mean? That's connected to Riverside Church that they don't know. The old PAL that was on 124th, I want to say. 124th between 7th and 8th. We used to go upstairs and have battles. Like battles on battles. But, you know, I think it really started just under the whistle right at Millbank. You know what I mean? At Millbank we used to play, you know, the in-house league. And all the East Side dudes, you know what I mean, used to come over with their whole crew and play against us from like, you know, the towers and all of that. So that's what Therm, they had a whole crew that would come over. It was like a neutral spot because that's 5th Avenue. And they would always come over. We would come up and, you know, have battles. And we stayed there all day because all age group. Go ahead.
Who was the best player? No, Jay, for your
it was always different age groups. So if I'm 9U, I used to stay and I used to be able to see like Dave Kane and all of them, you know, Mike Hoover and Rose, White Cloud, all of them. They used to play as well. You know what I'm saying? Just in a different age. And we used to just stay watch all of them. You know. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Dave Kane mentioned that. He was on the show. Definitely gonna put a show up on YouTube soon. So definitely talk about that. Those rich Harlem young ladies. A lot of them. Yep,
they shaped the fabric because you didn't really pay it. Like TV was something else, but it was really, you know what I mean, your neighborhood crew that you looked up to because you in the park seeing them all day watching what they do. And, you know, a lot, especially like you didn't know it was the right way, but a lot of them played the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, MVP, you know, Pookie Wilson and all of them. Like, you really saw like they Darryl Mack, they knew how to play the game. You know what I mean? Doogie, like they had real jump shots and you know what I mean, stuff like that. They moved the ball and played. You know, so you kind of modeled your game after them and the people. You know what I mean? Like right before you. You know.
That's real, man. That's real. Who was the best guy in the neighborhood that everybody wanted to be like? And I know I'm saying, you know, within that 2 or 3 block radius, there had to be so many, but who was that guy?
See, so so my neighbor, I was go as far as 139th up. So it was like Ike. I don't know if you remember Ike from Esplanade, Lil Ike, Darryl Mack. I would say Darryl Mack was probably the best. Tip Dog, Mike Boogie, Darryl Mack. I would say it's straight off the head.
That's crazy.
You know, right now I know a lot of people went pro, but that I would see every day, and from my neighborhood, I think they would probably be the best in my neighborhood, unless somebody else was from my neighborhood and I didn't know of. But wherever Darryl Mack, Tip Dog, Mike Boogie went, everybody went to see him play. You know what I mean? And root for them.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure, man. He's one of the guys from New York City that got MVP in the NBL.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not too many can see that. You know, him, Homicide, Gary Irvin. You know what I'm saying? But D-Mac definitely put it down. And I asked D-Mac early on. I was like, yo, we was on the show. What school are you going to? He said, I get kicked out of every school. I make my bones in the streets. Like, so you know, to see him play and to be able to watch his growth is just amazing, you know, for you guys. You know,
I actually seen him. I caught D-Mac. I was traveling in Vegas with the Gauchos, and we went and actually saw him play professional. They had a 6'4" and under league out there, and we went to see him. And like you said, it's for a guy that probably never did the school thing to make it professionally and really play professional basketball under the whistle. You know what I mean? That's an accomplishment. It's not the best route to go, but it's, you know what I mean? It speaks wonders for his game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it ain't, you know, it's more than just the park and the streets. It's real basketball. You know?
And you got to be locked in and still have those fundamentals, those disciplines, even to get to the next level.
Yeah, definitely,
anyway.
for sure. So, but in Harlem, we had some ball players though, man. We had some ball players.
Man, you don't got to tell me, brother, because we had to go up to Harlem to play. Y'all didn't really come down to Brooklyn that much, but we had to go up there. We wanted to see you guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So did you join Gauchos before or join?
I actually was brought over with Tommy Sweet. So the TS Bucks merged with the Gauchos when Dave McCollough, he moved up and started coaching his crew. I want to say it might have been Dave Kane, and then was ahead of us. Dave Kane, Dave Edwards, and Dre, Conrad McCray. I think, you know, that crew, he moved up with him and gave Tommy the rest of the younger crew. And that's what we rolled with, Tommy and Dave Jones. So that's when we merged, and then we've been Gauchos ever since. So I would say since I was 9, maybe 11, you know. Early, yeah. And I actually got a chance to move up, you know what I mean, because I could steal the ball and handle the ball to play with Jamal Mashburn, Dave Kane, and all the rest of them, just as like the third point guard, you know what I'm saying, under them on the trips and stuff like that. Because that was times like if Dave Edwards didn't go or Yoda, one of them didn't go, you know what I mean, he'll bring one of us up, and you know.
First of all, I want to go back because rest in peace to Dave Edwards. Salute to Dave Kane, who's been on the show already. Tell people about Yoda, right? Because I know what he was doing. But, you know, from your eyes and being around him, you know, what kind of ball player was he, and how he made
Yoda,
his magic work?
Yoda was the type, like you say, he was right up under a little bit younger than Tip Dog and Mike Boogie. So you would go and see and be amazed because he was a little dude. You know what I'm saying? Like Yoda didn't get his height until he stopped playing ball, which was crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? So he would be one of the younger dude, you know, smaller cats coming in at halftime. Because like I said, we used to play everywhere and still get 40. You know what I'm saying? Like he had the vision, like he could do at that age a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say he was Kenny Anderson, but how Kenny back then could shoot, pass, handle, had a feel for the game. You know what I'm saying? Yoda can do it all. You know what I mean? He could shoot it, pass it, and no one could stay in front of him. So he was just breaking dudes down, getting assists. He had a little like free throw line, little shot. You know what I mean? Because everybody would try to back up off him. Like getting 40 at halftime. That's no lie. Just coming from another game. That's why he was late, and he was amazing to watch. But you know, like I said, when he wasn't there, I got a chance to move up though, because Yoda was doing a couple other things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But his name was and his game traveled throughout the 5 boroughs. You heard the name and you knew about the game, so you had to respect it, man. So wherever you at,
just like how you hear, you know, when the Future and all of them came and made their name, Yoda Ben had his, you know what I'm saying, coming up, and people was coming to watch, you know what I mean, somebody at 12 and 13 play. Like he would pack a park at 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? People going to see his game was just mature like that. You know what I'm saying? With everything he can do. Because at most times everybody would have something missing, but he didn't have, you know what I mean? He had a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was just crazy because he stopped playing ball for, I think, a year or two. And then next thing you know, he grew to be, you know what I mean, and had the height he needed, like at 5'11" or whatever, just after he stopped. And that was yeah.
Right.
After you stop playing ball, you grow, you know. Yeah.
Right. Man. So what made you choose Rice?
I don't know. It was, Rice didn't even have like real basketball back then. You know what I'm saying? So it was no. I would say half of it was because they didn't want me to go to Manhattan Center. It was, you know, being a public school, and 90% of New York City basketball players, if you wanted to go to college, you know what I mean, you probably had to go to Catholic League. It was maybe 1 out of 10 in every school in the public school that would actually, you know what I mean, be eligible and make it. So everybody knew that. It's probably still true to this day. But so in choosing them between O'Hallows, Cardinal Hayes, Rice wouldn't have to wear uniforms. You know what I'm saying? So not having to wear uniforms, you know what I mean? It's in walking distance. I'm on 140.
Hold on. Talk about,
yeah.
know that.
What, the uniforms or walking distance?
Y'all didn't have to.
Nah,
y'all didn't have to
no
wear
uniforms in the Catholics at Rice. All you had to wear was, I think you had to wear black sneakers or something like that. Like you didn't have to wear no. Nah, jeans, button up. You know what I mean? Like a collar shirt, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was, I don't even think they thought we could afford uniforms or whatever at that time. The only way we're best up to you, we had to wear button up though. Like we couldn't wear, you know, like sweats and stuff like that. But you wore jeans and a button down shirt or a collar shirt. You know what I mean? Black shoes or yeah, just school. Cool. But yeah, no uniforms. We were there, and then Ronnie Arnold went there. So he was the only Gaucho and only ball player, you know, that went there. And there was like, you know, Dave was like, wow, we got to get Ronnie some help, you know, and stuff like that. So he sent me and my brother. And then from there, it kept snowballing. Everybody started, you know, with Cinderella Rice. And then it started Dynasty.
So you was there building the building blocks.
The very first. Well, the second brick, because Ron Arnold, I was he's 3 years old, 3 years ahead of me. 2 or 3 years ahead of me, he built the first brick. You know what I'm saying? Just being like a real ball player. He was, you know, he was you know, he was our big man, not really a big man, like, you know, that 6'4", you know what I mean, for rebound handle, you know what I mean. So the enforcer kind of, you know, Charles Oakley type dude, but running and, you know, running wrong, you know. And once me and my brother kind of got there, we kind of rounded it out a little bit, you know what I mean, for him, and we made that run and got on the national stage, you know what I mean, going up against Christ the King for the city championship that year. And then from there, like, everybody recognized us, you know what I mean, and started, you know, everybody was like, okay, let's do the Rice thing, you know, be from Harvard.
Yeah, because people, you know, I always, when I go to Lincoln, right, I'm always beefing about why isn't our city championship banner hanging? Like, you go, all the other city championship banners hanging. I'm going, how come you don't have the first one? Like, we was the one who built it, the blocks there. You know what I'm saying? I go tell the athletic director, spoke to her. I was like, listen, you want me to help you out? Okay.
Yeah.
Put that banner up. We get some more players here at Lincoln because things kind of changed at the time.
You gotta keep it going, man. Get the kids the history, man. I'll speak to my man E. Jones. See, like, we'll get a championship banner and we'll give it to you, man. Make sure you go hang that thing up, man. Let the people know.
Yo, that's so real, man. Yo, E, we already set up the date and everything, so we already locked in. You know what I mean? He hit me up, so we gonna make it happen for sure. And I appreciate that, brother. Yeah. So what team back then besides Christ the King that kind
say it one more time?
Problems? What team other than like Christ the King who y'all met in the city championship?
Every school was a rival. Like, if you think about it back then, right? Every school, and we was the last one coming up, had at least 4 Division I players on the court at one time. So it was you had to lace them up every night. You know what I mean? So from, if you're going with Hayes, with Chanel Scott, Ray Lynch, you know, Leonard Williams, you know, Cookie, all of them, you know what I mean? You go to St. Raymond's, you know, they had, you know, a national ranked crew, you know, you had Jamal Walker and all of them, you know, at Cardinal Hayes. Like, it was every night it was a problem. You know, every night, talent time, you know, with they had 2 McDonald's All-Americans. You know what I'm saying? Running. Then they had Malik Sealy and all them. So it was Malloy. Like, every school had on the court playing, like doing subs, everything. It was no school that didn't have at least 4 Division I basketball players on that court playing like that, going up against each other. So you had nothing. It was no nights off, really, no days off.
That's the one thing, you know, that our guys from that era, right? That whole, you know, early 80s on up to like mid 90s kind of thing. There was like, the parity was crazy. The parity from the Catholic School League and the PSL, we kind of faced the same thing. Now, I know during your years, which was crazy because that 1990 year, you know, they talk about that was like the best class in New York City history because we had like 5 All-Americans came out that year.
Because you got to count the 2 that went Jordan Classic. I forget the name. They're Riverside dude.
Because Mashburn was the player of the year in New York
City.
City.
Didn't make it. I think Jamal Faulkner. Who else? My man, God bless, Lee Green. You know, Dorado, he went, and then another one, 6'9". Why am I forgetting his name? 6'9". He was like the Lloyd Daniels of it all. I forgot his name. Somebody, if they're in the chat, type at his name. And
what school?
That's the crazy part. He
Oh, you talking about Lamar? No,
nah. He was with Red Autry and them. So it was like I forget his name. Andy K. Thank you, Danger. Andy K. You know what I'm saying? So
Andy K,
so you know what I mean? So that rounded out, that's like 7 dudes. You know what I'm saying? As the top in the country. And I think the country got upset about that, and you know, they didn't want to, you know, because it was too much New York, and then come back, because that's right following Kenny Anderson.
And then the hate
Like
start coming like
crazy. Because think about it, right before that year, that's Kenny Anderson and Bobby Hurley and them. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Anderson,
Yeah,
Bobby Hurley,
yeah.
I think, was that Robert Rodin, the big white boy from all of them. You know what I'm saying? So you had that whole crew. You know what I'm saying? So it was just too much. You know what I'm saying? So they, right after that, they started trying to water it down until Steph and them and Felipe and all of them brought it right back. You know what I mean? 2 years later. You know what I'm saying? So that was an era right there. That 90s era, 85 to 95, like, yeah, it was crazy.
It was throwing so many monkey wrenches. There's so many rules to stop the amount of players that was coming out of New York City. I tell people, I haven't, you know, I would think about it beforehand, but now that I have the show and I got to do a lot of research and I'm reading way more about New York City basketball than I did ever before, you start seeing it. You start seeing some of the things that was happening on a broader scale to slow down the amount of talent that was coming out of New York City. So, hey. They even tried to do it the other night with Shaheem Holloway. They wanted to say he's from Jersey. But last night he had to let them know.
He part of that era. He part of that crew. Yep, that, because 2 years, Shot's 3 years behind after me. So yeah, he right in that mix. You know what I mean? I remember when Shot came to Pittsburgh for the classic, because they used to have that round ball classic there, and straight put on the show. Like, I think I was in my freshman year or sophomore year in college. And he came and he was toying with them dudes. You know what I'm saying? Right at Pitt, like laughing at them. You know what I mean? Trying to block a shot. He doing the up and under. You know, that was little Dave Edwards there. Reincarnated, going right back at him.
Oh, yeah. That's that Queens right there, man. Big Queen. Facts. So you talked about a lot of players who you battled against, who was battle tested, including yourself. Who ass did you bust to let you know you was one of the top guys in the city? Like, who was the guy that you battled that said, you know what, this kind of solidified me, even though there was like 4 or 5 guys a night you had to battle?
I don't know. I think it was just a combination of everybody. I think it was more so me not getting my ass cooked like that. Like, you know what I mean? Just being since early, you know what I'm saying? In New York. Like I said, I started defense first. Like I said, I was, you know, I was picking dudes up full court. So I think that was the most important. So not getting cooked, you know what I'm saying, and then doing my thing, I think would certify me, because I was baseline to baseline, you know, with dudes and then still scoring and all that. So I think it was more so a combination of that than me just straight getting a name off somebody.
Got you. Like my game, Ron Sufran for 8 games said, Jerry McCullough.
Appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? The real deal, man. That's the real. So, what? Now, I know you played Gauchos early on, and you guys grew together. What was it like having Jamal Mashburn and Conrad McCray as
it's like I thought, you know what I mean, we were one of the best teams in the country. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think anyone except, you know, Riverside, who we had a better record than, and that's it, really. I didn't see anybody that could contend with us. And like I said, then that was my older crew that I ran with. You know what I'm saying? Like my crew was Orlando Antigua, Damon Santiago, Razul, and all. You know what I'm saying? Like they were, you know what I mean? We were all here. Like it wasn't like I was better than them or whatever. I just had a different, you know what I mean, type game that they needed. They were more scorers, you know what I mean, than me. Like that. Even though when I was with them, I kind of, you know, shot the ball a lot, but they were far better scorers and athletes than me. You know what I mean, at my level with them. But I was able to play up a lot, you know what I mean, just because I handled it a little more. And like I said, my defense. But with Jamal Mack, I'm throwing lobs to Eric Mobley, Conrad, you know what I'm saying, McCray, like easy. You know what I mean, Big Will Lassen, blocking shots. Like it was it was just too easy. You know what I mean? Like I felt like, you know what I mean? Like you don't need Dave and all of them. I could play with like what let me stay here. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just an easy fit. You know what I'm saying? And we was all gauchos like that. And, you know, like Mash was just the type, Mash, Ron Arnold, like they was able to handle and enforce their will upon dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, back then, Dre McCullough, he was like our big guard, you know what I mean, at that time, that could play 3-4 positions. Like we just pressed dudes and it was just, I don't remember too many close games like that.
It was ugly. I don't know.
That was just me. I don't remember. And then don't even mention games when which caller came through like that. I ain't even going, like it just when Carl Hines, like it was just, like I said, it was over from the walk in like that when he stepped on the court. So it was like it was a.
He was such a grown man.
Yeah, he had that.
Rest in peace, my guy Carlton Hines, man. Such a beautiful brother, man.
So he was like, and the crazy part was for everybody that, like, for me and people that knew him, you know what I mean, it was all love and jokes and laughing. I couldn't understand why too many people, you know what I mean, like they really feared this dude. So something was going on in the Bronx or something like that I didn't know about. You know what I mean? Because the dude I knew was the lovable.
Listen,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
I never knew. I didn't know. I had no idea. And he was the young guy playing with us and playing against us, right? Go uptown, I played with him a few times. But he was the young dude who all the OGs and all the guys respected.
Respected heavy. So, you know, it was just like that, man. So AAU was ugly. Catholic School League, like packed house every night. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, the shit's talking started like in the summer. Everybody was coming to watch those matchups, mainly to see, you know, like if Cook was gonna get at Red or Red was gonna be Cook, and you know what I mean? It was just, you know, every matchup was unbelievable.
Speaking of Catholic School guys, we got my little bro, Trevor
What
Diggs
up?
in the building. Saying salute to you, New York City icon. He called you. You know what I'm saying? Salute, Trev, for sure. He's out there in China doing his thing. Man, so for those of you who haven't done so already, please go on my YouTube page, same name, Basketball Heads. Go and subscribe. It costs you nothing. Right? See some great interviews, and this will be up soon. So, when you was coming out of Rice, who were some of the schools that was recruiting you outside of Pittsburgh, and why did you decide to choose Pittsburgh?
I would say by my junior year, most of the Big East schools was reaching out to me. You know what I mean? But, you know, like coming from the Gauchos, like Dave McCullough didn't let any schools use us or over recruit. Like, so for instance, I couldn't have went to St. John's because Dave Kane was at St. John's. You can't recruit, you know what I'm saying? Like what, you know what I mean? That's his team. So whenever his shot time was to come, like they weren't going to try to have one Gaucho and put me, you know, ahead of him. Like, not that I was better than him or anything, but they're not going to put.
No, that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah, it wasn't going down like that. So I wasn't going to St. John's. So you know, and vice versa. Like Sham, he wasn't coming to Pitt. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone had to, you know, grab their own spots, and that's the way it kind of rotated and filtered out like that. And that's how we spread out among, you know what I mean, the Big East. And you have, you know what I mean, Gauchos all over the place. You know, so my options came down to, at that time, Seton Hall, Rutgers, and Miami. So those was my final four, because I was on the cusp of going to Xavier with Ron. You know what I mean? But they kind of wanted me to make my decision early. You know what I mean? And I didn't even take a visit yet because they was getting pressure from, you know, other people. So once that was out the way, I think those was my final four. But everybody reached out, but I couldn't. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't anything I can do like that as far as even trying to choose to stay local or go there. It was kind of already ironed out for you, you know, where you could and couldn't go.
Yeah. Yeah. Dingo said, what about those Saturday mornings outside 35th?
Yeah, everywhere. Like that's what I said. It was Harlem. We went from park to park. You know what I mean? Like all day. That's all we did. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we had that cachet or whatever you call that pass to every hood, every projects. We was in there playing ball. Like they knew who the ball players were. You know?
That I always tell guys, it's a different era because if we had this in our hand, walking through, the street dudes gave us love. They gave us a pass. It wasn't like, come here, shorty.
Easy. They
get down with us. They was telling us
get off the corner, beat, go to the park. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk. So what transition did you have to make once you got the pit off and on the court? You know,
it was
High School.
It was a lot because then you get into the business part of it. You know what I'm saying? You get to dealing with a machine. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like, you know, hometown. You know what I mean? Like your neighborhood anymore. Like you at a real institution where you got to navigate and try to understand that it's a business and it's no love like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't reach out or argue or, you know what I mean, go back and forth or somebody sit you down. It was rare that would happen. You know what I mean? I didn't realize they were trying to feed their family until, you know, it was almost too late. You know what I mean? So you went through that transition. You know.
Yeah, it's tough for a lot of guys because, you know, now you got the transfer portal and a lot of guys run into that situation and they leaving the school early,
yeah, they treat,
you know what I mean? And I know it happened back then too, but now it's like, you know, go for what
so
you
I mean
know
that's it's good and bad away because it makes them, you know, they not holding you hostage. It make them gotta respect you and treat you better, not lie to you. You know what I mean, doing your recruiting visits and stuff like that. So they know, you know, they gotta respect that. You know.
Never thought about it that way. That's real. That's real. It's like a
yeah.
You're
no longer held hostage. So don't tell me I'm gonna start and then I get there, you know, on the bench like that. You know, they can't really lie like that anymore. You know, because then you out. Yep, and you get 2 chances to leave. So different.
And what was it like with playing with other New York City greats like
Lando Tigua, Eric Mobley.
And
Rest in peace. Yeah, they were my reasons because I had Miami high because I wanted to play for Leonard Hamilton. You know what I mean? Being a black head coach and all of that. It was just they just came into the Big East. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I had 2 Gauchos in driving distance home. You know what I'm saying? It was 6 hours. You know what I mean? I could be home that same day and catch dinner. Like that was an easy call, man. Easy call. God bless my man.
Right. Okay. Yes, indeed. I was reading this one article, right? 1993, and it says, quick look at McCullough, who's got it down cold. Now, where did the name Ice come from?
I want to say on 45th Street Park. It was after the dude. Remember the Jerry Ice Reynolds?
A friend of the show. If you go on the YouTube page, I interviewed him. Alexander Hamilton, great. Yeah, one of my heroes.
I said I didn't know who, but I know there was one. Like I think I might have met him once in actually in Florida, but Yeah, because we both had the name Jerry, and
Yeah, he played for Orlando. He's the first.
yeah. So I think it was just Jerry, and then at Jerry Ice. I don't think we played nothing alike. It was just kind of, you know what I mean. It was already a name like that, and there was an easy flow to it because he made a name for it.
Man,
and then
you made it
yeah.
even better, brother. It says nobody was better this night as any fair-minded but bitterly disappointed fan in the sellout crowded 16,294 will tell you. McCullough played all but 1 minute of a terrific game and never lost his cool. Not for nothing, his nickname Ice. Mistakes, right? Look at that. No mistakes at that. Yes, he made a couple, but Pitt would never have had enough to win for the 10th time this season without him.
Nah. Man, I just come from playing. When you play, like, how you gonna be rattled? Like I said, when you playing in the hood, like you playing, we playing hood tournaments and packed houses every night. You know what I'm saying? What haven't you experienced? New York City Guards, you used to controlling the game. You know what I'm saying? Like handling the ball, people trying to double, triple team you. You know what I'm saying? And we played to win back then. Like we went into the towers, went in Stone Gym. Like they trying them projects trying to fight for their home team. Like you literally, you know what I mean, losing, you running out, getting bottles thrown and all that. So you play through all that. You got people sitting in the nosebleeds. Yeah, that ain't affecting you. Not no real New York City, dude.
And the most thing do
like you flow into the off the court, on the sidelines in the hood, you getting pushed, and you know what I'm saying, like older dudes, they talking, you walking on the court, pointing their finger at you, you know what I'm saying, like yeah, you hit this shot, I'm knocking you out. Yeah. All right. So you're going through all of that. Like what is there to be rattled about, man?
Right. Man, people, can only dream of playing in front of 16,000 people.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. What games stick out besides that game that I just mentioned? What other games stick out to you to let you know that you could play on the next level?
I want to say really just kind of battling in the summers and stuff like that, because back then most of the pros came back and played, and you kind of measured yourself, where everybody was. Like I would see, Rod Strickland and Jamal Walker go at it in the summer times in practice. You know what I'm saying? And then I get a chance to, practice and run up against like Dave Kane, who I see play against Jamal Walker and Arnold Bernard and all of them. So you like, you know what I mean? And you seeing everybody, and then, I'm on the court with Dave Kane and you know what I mean? I'm still young. I'm not really right there yet, but I'm hanging, and I'm 2 years, younger than them. Like you kind of feel, you know what I mean, where you at that point in time and your projection and things like that. And you know what I mean, you kind of know you can do it, especially if you're at the top of your age group and being able to hang with the older dudes like that. You get a sense of, yeah, I got this, especially when some part of your game can carry over to play with them. You know what I'm saying? Like we used to have runs and, Mark Jackson them on the court, Andy Mason and all of them. And I'm able to get by and, you know what I mean? And kick the ball to them and stuff like that. So you like, all right, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of just gives you, you know what I mean, that little bit of confidence. So I wouldn't say it was most the guys my age, but like playing against the older dudes, that's what did it for me. You know what I'm saying? And being able to hold my own like that against them. So
young guys, pay attention when you come back home, or when you're in high school. Play against the older guys. Stop playing against the dudes your age. Play against the older guys.
Yeah, stop playing against people younger than you.
Because by the time you go back and play against your age,
yeah, play up. Like these dudes nowadays, they won't play younger. They fifth grade, won't play, third grade. Like what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And be projected, like be a top third grader, but you really a fifth grader like that. Nah, play up.
They get
Yeah,
reclassed to the
man,
fifth grade now.
it's third grade. Like they wilding. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, play
Crazy.
up, man. Play against people older than you, and then you can really tell you'll learn something. You'll learn the game a little better too. So, mm,
Facts. So real. Man, your confidence had to shoot sky high when you was a finalist for
yeah,
NCAA Player of the Year. Like, that right there is an accomplishment within itself. Not too many people from New York City could say that, you know. Not just conference player of the year,
yeah,
but the whole thing.
yeah. Now that was a couple good years at Pitt. Like I'm happy about that. Like it didn't really hit me until I think about 4 or 5 years after college, and then you look back and you know what I mean. Like you see Jalen Rose, Chris Webber, and and Penny Hardaway, and all of them. You know what I'm saying? As like legends and Hall of Famers. Like, damn, my name was on the board with them dudes. You know what I'm saying? And then you just like kind of like, I guess in the moment you just like you keeping, you know what I mean? You just moving, like you're like, oh, okay, what's next? But
Right.
then after that, like when I look back, I was like, you know, wow, because Penny was who he was, and,
Wow.
and all of them. So like to be recognized as that, finalist, you know.
That's a huge accomplishment, brother, within itself. For real. Because many guys I've interviewed and researched on that don't
Yeah,
really come
yeah,
up too
top.
much. If
Yeah,
at all,
yeah.
if
No,
at
I,
all.
was I was happy about that. They, people, you hear people saying, yeah, you top 25 nation in college, but you're not like, like, yeah, it's only 26 people in the draft. Like you top 25, like you out. But it wasn't, what I mean? You hear it, but then, like I said, I'm looking, I'm like, they got 5 point guards, you know what I mean? They got Hurley, Penny Hardaway, you know what I mean? All of them that, like, so it's like, I'm like, so that kind of humbled me a little bit, but I'm like, let me keep at it. You know what I mean? Let me try, when it's my turn. So that's all.
Do you feel like you was overlooked by
No, I
NBA
think I
scouts?
think when I got like I tore my ACL, and I think I missed out on you couldn't predict it, but I missed out on, I guess, leaving when you hot. You know what I'm saying? Like you always thinking you got another year, and then I tore my ACL, and then a whole new generation of a whole new movement came through with Kevin Garnett and all of them. Because before them, I think maybe Jamal Mashburn and Grant Hill was the only people kind of leaving early. You know what I mean? And they just kind of announced it that this is gonna be their last year. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Jamal was a junior. People leaving like their junior year. Like it wasn't a one and done and stuff like that. But the year like I should have left, I got hurt. I mean, I came back. Eric Mobley left, and then that whole Kevin Garnett and the one and done freshmen could leave. You can go from high school. That's when AI and Steph and all of them came, and you know what I mean. I just missed the whole. I missed the whole era, but you couldn't predict that. Like I didn't know things was going to change and
No, you can't
all of
predict
that,
it.
and then everything
Nah.
started getting younger. You know what I mean? And then the whole European craze came in. Like you don't know what the minds of the wheels of the industry is doing. You know what I'm saying? Because they put that whole movement forward and got the whole league young, and then brought in older Europeans. You know what I mean? As rookies, like Ginobili and them, they 26 years old. You know what I'm saying? And they
There was a reason. There was a
right.
reason why they started doing
Yeah, so
that, but we
you
won't get
you
into that.
you you killing. You're a rookie, but you know what I mean. Like Luka Doncic, you're a rookie. You playing against 18-year-old high school rookies. You know what I mean. You 25. Like so, that whole wave came in. I'm not. I couldn't predict none of that going on either. So so yeah, it's just history, man. Got caught up in history.
That's all right because you know that didn't change you having a 13-year pro
Nah.
career, right? Most and a lot of the guys who probably came out before you and got to the league, it was done in like 2 or 3.
And you know, like I said, like you said, playing in packed stadiums and stuff overseas, like most of that wave that came over, I played against them. Like all of the Bianis and Danellis and Ginobili's and, you know, Gasols, like all of them played against each other in packed arenas. And back then, I guess the reason they did that because the NBA only a few stadiums was packed back then. Like we playing in larger stadiums than they are, you know, over there in the EuroLeague. So it's if you're a ball player, you're not upset about playing that game. You know what I mean? I'd rather been over there playing in a packed house where the game on the line is on me than, you know, kind of riding a bench somewhere, you know what I mean, in the empty stadium, you know what I mean, in the league, you know what I mean? So it was I enjoyed playing ball. You know what I mean? I'm a ball player, so.
That's right. What was the largest crowd over there?
I think it was 13,000, 16,000 in Milan, Barcelona, you know, playing against them. Yep. So, yep.
That's crazy. What was your favorite country?
I want to say Italy. So back then it was the top 2 countries was Italy and Spain. You know what I mean? So it got, you know, it fluctuated, but back when I was playing, they were the top 2 countries. Everybody that came to the league, 90% of them played in the EuroLeague, which we called that. So you had like 2 Greek.
That's the top league.
Yeah,
like
2 Greek teams, 2 Serbian teams, you know, and then the rest was, you know, from like the European teams, 2 teams from Russia. Yeah. So.
Did you have to make any transitions going over there to different countries? What were the transitions like for you?
Night and day. Like it's a whole different living lifestyle, everything. Like you growing on your own. Like you know, it's a whole new language. Like don't no one speak English really, except the ball players. Like that, you go in the stores, you gotta, you know, you gotta learn, pick up that language quick. You know what I'm saying? So you learn basketball language in a different country. I mean, a different country basketball language. You know what I mean? Whether it's French, whether it's, you know, Spanish, you know, like that Italian and all that. You gotta transfer it over when you're at the restaurants. You gotta learn the food, learn how to count the money. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's a whole different lifestyle. So.
Wow. Yeah, I had Kim Hampton on here. You know, she spent 14 years overseas before she even came to the WNBA. And she spoke like 5 different languages. I was amazed. I was like, damn. She was like, yeah, I was a person who, if I went to a country, I'd try to learn the language, you know, so it could make my transition a lot easier. Did you pick up anything from any country, any different
I was
languages?
able to move on my own. So I won't say I could have restaurant conversations. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to eat. I gotta eat. I wasn't cooking, so I could order my own food, and you know what I mean. I could count my own money in every language. So that was it. I learned that quick. So full conversation, I was decent in understanding. You know what I mean, Italian and Spanish and French, but. Like I would be on my own if no one in that country could speak English, I'll be all right. You know what I mean? But I'm not having this conversation. You know, I'm like, oh, we go store now, you know, give me, that's how I sound. You know what I mean? In their language. So they understand, but they not really trying to talk to me. They're like, yeah, okay, here you go. You know what I mean? So I was all right.
That's dope, man. That's dope. So, you know, did you guys make it to any championships over there? Was the All-Star games?
Every like they doing what the NBA's trying to do now. Like they trying to have that mini tournament. They trying to thing. That was all Europe. You know what I'm saying? And that made the season, we called them like cups. You know what I'm saying? It made it,
Yes, yeah.
and I think they should do it. They figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because you can, but they got to get a prize to us. Because if you win the cup, you automatically qualify, just say for like a playoff spot or a EuroLeague bid. You know what I mean? So, and that's what the NBA is trying to do to keep the regular season interesting. So just say for that Christmas break or everything, the top 8 teams or something like a play in the cup. You know what I'm saying? The winner of that get a bid, automatic bid for either EuroLeague or tournament. And that's something like they can win instead of having like the playing game. You know what I mean? So you win this tournament, you know what I mean? You automatically get an 8th seed, you know what I mean, or a 7th seed in a minimum in the for the playoffs. Like that. And that keeps it interesting, you know what I mean, playing the regular season. So I mean, it's still your regular season schedule, but now it's in a cup form, you know what I mean, in a tournament form. You know what I'm saying, in the middle of the season where you go on your run, and that makes worth it, and it generates more money too because you guys people sponsor it. So we did a lot of those in Europe, and that kept bonus money coming in. You know, kept you getting championships, and that builds your resume.
And you get a new contract after that, right?
And you get scouts. So
money.
all the NBA scouts and all of them are coming over. Rather than see you play against the top team, they'll see the top 8 teams. You know what I mean? You get them in one house now. So everybody was flying over. So I'm seeing, you know what I mean, Larry Bird and all the rest of them. You know what I mean? They in the stands at the cup. You know what I mean? Whether it's the Italian Cup, the Spanish Cup, you know what I'm saying? Like they there to watch and to do their scouting for the week, you know what I mean, or weekend or whatever it is, and they get to see everybody.
Man, the fact that you said to make the regular season so interesting, because I don't think I've watched a regular season game in 5 years.
Yeah, that's what they trying to do. They trying to make it, you know, which
I love college basketball, high school basketball, but the pro game is just like, why am I watching this?
So, but if they make it sound worthwhile, people, you know, people here for it or play for it. Especially they put the money to it. They put the, you know, something on the line. Yeah.
Facts. So once the game was over, you know, I always got to plug my guy, Eric Hicks.
Yep.
Right?
Over.
Game over. You know about my man. He designed this.
We
trophy.
had one.
This is the only trophy that look like us. And you know who this is? This is Dorian Graham.
I know that.
Yeah, that's Dorian Graham.
Okay.
Yep. The black Graham.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I need to get his image rights, man. I need to talk to him. I need to be his agent, man. I'm gonna speak to my man Black, man. Get a nickel every trophy. Let me get that nickel off there, man. We split it, man. 3 cents, 2 cents. Talk to my man Graham, man. Every trophy. But now he did. Game Over did some trophies for me and Joe's for our first City Legends Classics, man. So yeah.
Okay. Eric Hicks, a good brother, man. And I had Dorian on last week too, and we talked about it. I didn't know that was him until he hit me up. So, and I put it as a question, you know, on my page, and nobody could get it right. The dude who got it, he's like Eric Hicks' boy, so I knew he knew. But nobody else be guessing, man. But hey, I know him and Eric came up together, so it's all good. Well, Eric's a little older, but that we won't go there. Once your career was over as far as playing basketball, how did you end up at the MacDuffie School?
I started like right at the tail end of when I was in Italy. Like my last couple years, I started with my man Eric Jones. We were doing jerseys. Like he came up. I mean, my man Gerald Jordan. He came up with the idea he wanted to do the jerseys and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I got a little bit of money, you know what I mean, from Europe. I need a business, you know what I mean, to kind of flow into. So we started doing tournaments and uniforms and throwback jerseys. but everybody had Mitchell and Ness had it because he's from Philly, was doing it, you know what I mean, for the pros.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, why don't we do it for college? And I was like, college got college rights and all of them. You know what I mean? We didn't do that. He's like, fuck it, let's do it for high school. Like, let's do it for high school. So I took New York, he took Philly, and we pitched the Mitchell and Ness. And Mitchell and Ness said, you know, it got wheels. He said, we don't, because Mitchell and Ness was a small company. I mean, even though they was making a lot of money, you know what I mean, they had a small little niche to it, and it was like a 2-3 man operation in there. So he said, look, I don't have the manpower to do it, but I'll give you our manufacturers and our specs. You know what I'm saying? So you got a guy in our specs and one of our manufacturers, you know what I'm saying? And you could run with that. And so we took off with that. So I was actually just, you know, selling uniforms and stuff like that, connecting with people. And that's how I got with, you know, Hostos, and we was doing tournaments, and I ran into Timmy O'Toole, who asked me, was I thinking about doing some coaching and all of that? And he told me about the opportunity at the MacDuffie School. And, you know what I mean, because I was really contacting schools trying to sell them uniforms. And they was like, nah, we don't need uniforms. That's what my man Ice told me, Khalif Hill and damn, well, I forgot my man's name. I'll get in a second. Like, nah, but we need a coach. You know what I'm saying? And then that's where that came on. People started pulling me into doing some coaching. You know, and then I got plugged in with that.
And you're in New England. And, you know, when they go Kai and Bai and all that, I spent the year at Maine Central. I was actually the first New York City guy to go to Maine Central before Carl came after me. Yeah. So definitely know New England and heard about the MacDuffie School as well. It was. That's when I got the whole, you know, the business part of prep schools. You know what I mean? I was I learned a lot about like running an organization program. Like it was the top, you know, it's the top prep school in the country, league, like that. So it was like right. Nerlens Noel, like, you know, everybody played. If you was nice, you ran in that league to get noticed and to get to the higher levels. And then that's when I learned about the money and you know what people were paying to go to school. They was paying college prices, stuff like that. Yeah. Yep. It cost $54,000 to go to Maine Central. They don't have the prep program there no more.
Yeah. Now my school was 40. You know, there's 30 for locals, 40 for international. You know, kids like that. And it was only that because because one of our facilities wasn't up the day with like AC and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So they had the window units and all that, but they were still dorms, still isolated. And, you know, they was doing that. So, yeah. Roy Beekman was who pulled me into coaching too from Queens. Yep, Iceman. So, yep. But yeah, that's how the MacDuffie School came along, and we built that program up. You know what I mean? 4 years, and then from there I went to South Florida. You know what I mean? When Antigua and them got the job, and then after that I'm back in New York at a charter school, doing the charter school in Parkchester, Bronx Excellence. Yep. So still teaching and coaching and all of that, running tournaments and in league. So nothing changed, keeping it going.
That's awesome, man. It's crazy because I've been in education now for like 20 years. I'm at a charter school as well. So as long as we can, help kids, make a difference in kids' lives, changing one day at a time, we gonna be all right, man. Especially you, man. We're so proud of you, man, and your accomplishments. I know I stepped away from New York City for a while, but I always keep my ear to what was going on, and your name will always come up And I was like, damn, they got another McCullough? Like every time I turn
Yeah.
around, there's another one. And there's another one. There's another one. It's like, nah, he's killing. Then watch you on television. And, you know, last night, when I was watching Casey the Defo, right? He went to Lincoln at St. Peter's, watching Shaheem. Whenever we see a New York guy representing on television doing it well, it makes us proud, man. And you was one of those guys that I could say, who when I was sitting, you know, in my house in Jersey or just sitting back watching the television here in Brooklyn, like, oh, man, New York City represent, man. And you did it on a high level. So
Appreciate
salute
that.
to you, brother. Nah, for sure. Definitely want to give you your flowers on that end. We definitely I have an artist on the show. I don't know if you know about that, right? My guy, hold on for a sec, Jamel Powell. So everybody, well, mostly everybody, can't say because a lot of people still didn't get their drawing yet. This is Mo Hicks with Mo Hicks.
Okay, Mo Rice. That's what's up.
That's Mo Hicks. Who else? This is Karen Miller. She's one of the coaches for PNB Nation.
Okay, Karen. All right.
Positive Direction out in Queens. And my man Phil Grant, who I ran into today.
Yeah.
Great. So you definitely gonna have a picture coming soon. As soon as he send it to me, I'll send it to you. And then when I get the hard copy,
appreciate that, man. Thanks for having me, man.
No doubt. Last thing. Let's talk about the City Legends Foundation. Are you still having that going on? And
yeah, for sure. We just did. We actually did some stuff in helping out with the prep schools. We still getting our Savior Lutheran, a lot of those kids into school. You know, when we run events for them to get looks, college looks. We did back to school for the youth. You know, for middle school kids out in Jersey. So we actually branched out over in like Teaneck and Inglewood and all of them, getting those kids getting a lot of packages and off the school, right? And we're coming back because, you know, COVID shut us down for a second. You know what I mean? But we normally have at least 4 events every year. You know what I mean? To help either high school, middle school kids get to high school and have clinics for them and tell them the importance and, you know, guide them on the right path. Or we have, you know, getting high school kids into college, getting them looks. So, yeah, no, we definitely still New York, New Jersey area pushing our events, man. And so check us out on Instagram and everything. I'm at Eric Jones. You know, he got his podcast and, you know, he's going to be promoting a lot of stuff coming soon. So.
Well, keep me informed because I'll come up and cover as well. We got a few more. The last part is a little fun.
Yeah, I'm here.
We'll get you out of here, right? All right. Last question. If you had to do it over, what would you change?
If I had to do it over, I don't know. I would probably try to have kept in contact with a couple coaches during my college time, cause like me and Dave McCullough, we stopped talking for a minute, you know. So I needed and I needed like that college mentor, cause college is a learning curve, and if you have a mentor, you know what I'm saying. Yes. I think that's the only thing I would have changed. I think I would have been a little bit more humble and kept in touch, you know, like with the questioning of you know, I didn't need academic help, but like just that navigating, getting from college to the pros, I think I'd have got me, you know what I mean, like a real mentor kind of dude to help me to do that. You know what I mean? Because most of the people that I had, like Kurt Aiken, that was at Pitt, you know what I mean, they didn't go pro. You know what I mean? He went to the corporate world. So he was, you know, I was getting mentored on that. So I had corporate skills, you know what I mean, coming from Pitt. But actually basketball, to the league. You know what I mean? My era. That's what I would do. And I encourage all these kids out here today that's trying to do it. Get with somebody that did it. You know what I mean? And have them mentor you. That's crucial. With anything too. Just like I said, I needed it for basketball. Whether you need it for you going into journalism, going into podcasting, get with somebody, humble yourself, reach out, intern, get with somebody that did it. You know what I mean? From the level you at trying to get to, whether it's clothing industry, music, media, corporate, pros, sports. Like, that's the one thing I would have did different. Other than that, you know what I mean, I'm happy with the way everything went.
No doubt, no doubt. It's hard when you kind of navigating it, you know, for yourself, man. So definitely I could feel you on that one. All right. Now we're going to get into our top five. Oh, man. All right. Some people say this is the hardest part of the show. Hopefully you'll breeze right through it. All right? All right. Top 5 players you played against.
Played against?
Yes.
Shit, I mean, I got Hall of Famers. Lonzo Mourning, Mahmoud Raouf, Dave Rivers.
Oh, who can remember the man with the? Who can forget the man with the fro?
I want to say, damn. Yeah, that's tough. Like those dudes, they the problem.
Two more.
Keith Jennings. I don't know if you remember Mr. Jennings. He introduced me to the pick and roll, something crazy. Like I learned a lot from him, from that dude there. Like going up against him. Like, cause once you get me with something, you ain't gonna be like he got me with that. Like cooked me with that one. Other than that, I would say just my Harlem dudes coming up, man. I put all the Harlems as my last 5, man. Everybody that I played against in Huffway Fifth Street Park in Harlem, man. So if you right up in me in Harlem, that's y'all my 5th. Right. Appreciate y'all.
There you go, especially behind the Harlem.
Yeah, Huffway Fifth Hall thing, the Dunbars, the Battlegrounds, all of them, man. Rucker, yeah, we had some wars everywhere. So.
All right. Top 5 Rice players of all time.
I did this one before. I went with Dean Memager. I think I went with I went with I had Ron Arnold at the 4. I think I had Kemba the 2, Felipe, and who I had at the 5. And what's big man that went to Kansas State? I think he was pretty good, man. I think that he was Kurt. I think no. What was his name? Went to Kansas State.
Didn't he go to Georgia Tech?
No. That was Gary Saunders. What's my man name? He went to Kansas State. He went to Kansas State lefty. Like 6'9", 6'10". He was one of the best bigs to come out of Rice, man. Younger than us. He was after Dre Barrett and all of them. Kurt Kelly, I think his name is, right?
Kurt Kelly. Then I thought Kurt Kelly.
He went to Kansas State, I think. Then I think because my man followed them. Shane. Yep, Shane Southwell followed him. So I think he was, because we didn't have too many bigs back then. Most of our bigs was undersized.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, the brothers that went to St. John's and all of them. So I'm forgetting names real quick, but yeah, that's my Rice crew right there. Like all different eras, man. Yeah.
All right. Top 5 players from Harlem.
From Harlem? We go with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Darryl Mack,
Never friend of the show.
Bob McCullough.
Facts.
Yeah.
Family first.
Well, that's 3 right there, right?
Yeah.
I will go Shamgard. And is Bernard King considered Harlem?
Bernard King is from Brooklyn, fam.
Well, I consider him a Harlem dude. What about Jay Williams?
Jay Williams from Queens. No, Jason Williams from
Lower East Side.
Lower East
We
Side.
can't count him?
Yes. No. Boy, you got like Pee Wee Kirk.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. Pee Wee, I didn't know Pee Wee was from Harlem, because like a lot of them I thought was the Bronx. Like a lot of the Bronx dudes you think is Harlem because they stand in Harlem a lot. Yeah.
Really?
I think he is. I can't quote it for sure. That's before my time. You know what I'm saying? But Pee Wee might be. You know what I mean? But I always connect him with Tiny. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Tiny Archibald, I think is from the Bronx. I thought Malloy Nation.
But I took Shamgar. And same thing. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of them. Like you would think, yeah, because Harlem is the Mecca, because it's easy transition with the trains and all of that to play. You know what I mean? To travel to get to. So and then they always stay and hang out in Harlem. You know what I mean? So I thought Malloy was from 132nd and 7th, but he's from.
My guy Eric Weaver.
Oh, Pee Wee from Harlem. Then we're going with.
Yeah. He knows.
Okay.
Knows, he knows.
And yeah, we got Pee Wee.
Fact.
And Joe Hammond. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. You know what's so crazy today? I was with my guy Footy from Staten Island, who played for Curtis High School, and the young kid Angel Reyes, who I had on the show, he was at the game, and he was like, "Yo, G, is that Joe Hammond?" He thought my man was Joe Hammond, which was crazy. I thought that was funny.
Oh wait, hold on, wait, Jamal Mashburn. I forgot my man Mashburn. He from Polo Grounds. I got that. That's I don't know why. Because I'm always thinking older dudes or somebody younger. Mash definitely in my top 5, and grew up in my Chucky Brown. He grew up right in my building. These NBA dudes right there. So you got Chucky Brown,
which is crazy. I heard Sean Rooks is from.
I didn't know that either. Yeah,
from Arizona. Rest in peace, Sean Rooks. This is the things that I'm hearing since I've been on the show. My guy, Eric Weaver, one of the top refs in New York City, called the Jerry Ice.
Salute, Ewee.
Listen, bro, that name is gonna stay with you forever.
I don't mind that one.
That's right. Said Jerry Ice. Said, I know him. Right. So last one, brother. Last one. Who are your top 5 players in New York City history?
New York City history. Then you got to go with. Can we count Jordan? Born in Brooklyn, right?
Yo, I think you're like the 4th or 5th person that said, look, I'm a Brooklyn guy. I would love to claim Mike, but he don't claim us, so it's kind of hard.
He said he was born there. He said he born.
He was born in here, but he didn't play ball here. Like Shaheen Holloway, I love him because Shaheen said, I'm a New York City guy. Jersey adopted me.
Yeah, because he played high school in Jersey.
And when you hear Jordan talk, right, but he'll let you know he crafted all that stuff.
All right, so we'll go with Tiny, Rod, Kareem, Bernard King, and Mashburn.
Mashburn.
Yeah.
He's on my bucket list.
Got it here too. He got it here too.
We'll
Yep. He's doing big things business wise.
He's doing so well. And people don't realize, I was just speaking to a close friend to Vinny Johnson. Vinny Johnson is doing some big things in the business world. The microwave.
So it's
so a lot of our guys who leave New York, not only they did on the basketball court, that they doing very well in the business world. So we always want to salute that.
So yeah, I think my five will compete with anybody in the world. So.
For sure. And I would ask you, who would you nominate? But you already nominated your guy, Eric Jones, so it's all good.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And if anybody else you know that you think should come on Basketball Heads, just, you know, you can always call me, text me, be like, yo, Pooh, it's my man. This is what he did, blah, blah. I probably know him. And if I don't, I guess you'll inform me.
I would get Eric Jones, I would get Rock and Stool, and I would probably go Bob McCullough Jr. instead of Senior, just because Junior might give you a different perspective of Senior. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people know about Ruck and Bob, but Junior Mike can tell you a little bit more. You know what I mean, about his pops. You know what I mean, from what his pops might not want to say. Man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, Ice, yo, brother, I appreciate you again. Thank you for coming on. You made my evening go very well because I was sitting there struggling like, damn, I'm gonna be late for the show. I don't like being late, but the game, some very good games. Listen, the B Division Championship was Scholars Academy against Community Health. That was a barn burner all the way through. One of the best city championships I've seen
Only
so
respect.
far. You know, that was good. Who else? Then you had Lawn Tech. They beat Frederick Douglass.
That's my neighborhood. That's right. Yeah, that's Harlem.
Right. That was a good game. And then you had the finale with Transit Tech losing to Mary Bertram. A very close game. That's why we was late. All right, so, but I'm glad we made it.
All
right. Brother, salute, man. I appreciate you, man.
For sure. All right.
All right. No doubt. Man, oh man. When we talking about New York City greats and New York City point guards, because, you know, this is New Guard City, right? My guy Jerry was one of those guys who stood out among the rest. One of the top performers in the city. And then when he went to college, he was one of the best in the nation. NCAA finalist for Player of the Year. Listen, sometimes we could be a year too early or a year too late. But it's not how you start off, it's how you finish. And he played in Europe for 13 years, had a 13-year pro career that a lot of people can't even match. Some guys bail out of the NBA after 3 years, career over. Get sidelined by an injury, career over. But what he did in the Euro League, which is the top league in Europe, he made up for that lost time. And even before that, he was making guys like me proud, watching my guy on the court do his thing. So, for you young guys out there, just remember, there's so many things you could do off the court besides being on the court. But if you get a chance and be lucky to have a career like my guy, Jerry Ice McCullough, you'll be one of the lucky ones. Listen, for all my basketball heads out there, thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding, and you've been watching Basketball Heads, the official home for New York City basketball. Do I have to show y'all? Oh, yeah, we got that merch here, baby. Y'all see how the front look. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we do. It's our slogan. So everybody out there in basketball headline. Peace.
Y'all ready?